Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of Mr. Flip Flop, the story of Labour's U-turns. This is 7 to 12 of the U-turns. So let's get straight into it, because obviously this is episode 2. So the number 7 is the mandatory digital ID, which was forced to do a U-turn on. So in September 2025, Labour announced plans to introduce the mandatory digital ID. This was another plan Labour didn't think through. And after months of pressure from the Conservatives, Labour announced in January this year that the digital ID would not be mandatory, which is, thank God, it's not, because it was a dangerous ID that they were trying to force through on us. Again, the next one, number 8, is waspy women compensation. So false promises, cynical betrayal. So Keir and his front benches use waspy women as a political prop to win votes. Now Labour are in government, waspy women have been betrayed like so many others. Labour promised the world to them. It's an evil thing to do that, and obviously I hope this costs them so many votes in the future, because you should not go promising the world to someone and then stab them in the back. It's disgusting. Number 9, increased defence spending. So they've had a forced U-turn on that. So obviously Labour initially ditched and delayed so much. They needed defence spending. It was only after Keir forced them into action that they announced a committed 3% of GDP on defence. But I don't. To me, it's never actually coming, because obviously our army and military is depleted and it's in an horrendous state. Obviously, then we've got business rates for pubs. Again, it's now been forced into a U-turn. So in November 2025 announced a huge increase for business rates for pubs. Labour did partially U-turn on this plan, but vast majority of pubs will still be paying far more in business rates under Labour. Many sadly will be forced to close their doors for good, and this is going to affect jobs, it's going to affect everything, because obviously we won't be able to just go out to a local pub and have an enjoyable time out, and it helps the economy. But obviously Reeves doesn't see it that way, because she's too thick to understand what this country is, hence why she shouldn't be Chancellor, never should have been, hence she's Rachel from Complaints. But then you've got day one workers' rights, and then obviously there's been a U-turn on that. So Labour's Unemployment Act will impose a 330 pages of red tape, which is, again, we don't need all this red tape. It's like what we got from Europe. Why we need to come out of it? Too much red tape is strangling us. On employers, and open the door to waves of low turnout, short notices, strikes, but the Conservative peers forced a crucial change, the abandonment of day one workers' rights, that would have caused chaos for businesses, which is kind of what we need, but I still think we need to go further. And then you've got frozen personal allowance thresholds is a broken promise. So Rachel Reeves promised not to freeze the personal income tax thresholds beyond 2026, but in a November 2025 budget, she U-turned and broke this promise. Over the course of Parliament, this broken promise will cost workers thousands in extra taxes. Again, I'm not surprised, because all they do is U-turn and have broken promises. It's just Labour all over. They don't know how to run a government, and if they did, it'd be shocking. That's why the sooner we can get rid of this bunch of jokers, the better. So obviously that's bringing this episode 2 to an end, because obviously we've gone through the next 6 they've U-turned on, and obviously hopefully you'll be looking forward to episode 3 I'm bringing you shortly, and we'll be whizzing through all these. But again, thank you and goodbye.